You've probably been hearing the words artificial intelligence or AI more frequently these days, especially as we've seen the recent emergence of OpenAI's ChatGPT. Well, this week, Geoffrey Hinton announced his departure from Google, which has its own AI. Now, Hinton is a computer scientist who's been referred to as the godfather of artificial intelligence, and he said in a tweet he left so he could speak openly about the dangers of AI. And that comes as concerns over potential risks to society grow. A group of AI experts, including Elon Musk, who is an early investor in OpenAI, they're calling for a 6-month pause in advanced AI development. So what does this all mean? Well, for that, we're turning to Yawney, who's an expert with more than a decade of professional and academic experience in the field of artificial intelligence. He works with Adastra, which is an IT and data company which helps solve complex challenges. This is a complex one, so let's get into it, John. Elon Musk is probably the best known figure who signed that letter, but he was joined by some true heavyweights in the field, and they want this pause because they're concerned about the pace of AI development. What do you think of that call to action?
Yeah, I think it really, draws us to the fact that we need to do this in a very cautious way and responsibly. Some of the fears that we are seeing, advocated through that letter and also with Geoffrey Hinton's departure, is that AI is becoming very intelligent very rapidly, and the evolutions themselves we have to monitor and make sure that we are cognizant of what potential applications AI can subscribe to.
Now, the big issue, as I understand it, is that we could soon see the emergence of what's known as AGI, artificial general intelligence. So for people at home, it would be a system that isn't trained to do just one specific task, like a chat bot or a system that plays chess really well, but one that can perfect pretty much all information processing beyond our human ability to understand how it's doing that and what might result from it. That sounds alarming. Should we be concerned about that?
To be honest, in my opinion, I think not. I believe that AI is becoming very powerful, but it is some time away from anything like AGI. One of the reasons for that is that AI algorithms are programmed to do specific things, and even if they do seem very powerful, they're very powerful at that particular thing. What we're talking about for AGI is really gross extrapolation, and that's something that even powerful AI mechanisms, it's hard to extrapolate outside of the bounds of what they're trying to predict, right? And so, ChatGPT is an example. It's predicting, the responses to text prompts that you provide it. So you ask it a question, it gives you feedback, but it's not going to extrapolate knowledge outside of the domain that it was trained on.
But some of these systems are already black boxes, and the people who are developing them are surprised by how they are performing. I mean, how long do you think until we just don't understand what's going on and we don't know if an AGI is developing?
Yeah, so I do agree that a lot of these things are black box in a sense. That being said, the requirement is that we move towards responsible AI processes and controls, and that's in order to ensure that we can describe the actions that are being taken by these AI mechanisms and algorithms, right? And that's something that Geoff Hinton calls to, is that we can't run away with just unchecked development. Exactly the phrasing that he used in his interview. We do have to be cautious and have control mechanisms in place, and we have to forward advance areas of explainable AI, which adds clarity to a lot of these black box algorithms.
So the media tends to focus on the fear and loathing of any kind of emerging technology. So why don't we end on a positive note? How do you see AI changing society for the better?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the things I could see is that it's just going to cause, a lot more operational efficiency and enhancements. So, things that take, say, 3-4 days now, it could potentially take, minutes even. So being able to have, access to rapid feedback, rapid answers, rapid information, that's really key, not only for decision makers within enterprise, but even for the end user.
And that sounds to me like we'll see job loss, which is inevitable. We always see job loss when new technology is introduced. Could we see job growth as a result of AI?
Yeah, for sure. I always think about, the potential for AI to reduce jobs. However, what I like to advocate for is that AI needs to produce more jobs than replace or than remove. I do see that there is going to be a whole new wealth of job opportunities as a reflection of AI, because there's going to be new forms of automation, new forms of insight. All these insights and automations need to be monitored and controlled. So there's going to be a lot of potential opportunity there. I think the only resistance, of course, is just in that change, right? Because it will require people to transition and transform their roles the same way AI will transform the job market.
John, we'll leave it there for now. We know that this conversation will continue for sure. Appreciate you taking the time.
No problem. My pleasure.
Coming up, how Canmore is bucking a bit of a national trend in housing.